truth that you are a slave. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison for your mind.
Greetings. Today I want to speak to you concerning how each and every one of us have a choice. And this is the choice. Imagination or the way of sense. You can choose the way of sense, or you can choose to trust your imagination. And that is how each and everyone is living their life, because there is no in between. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share with you from The Law and the Promise, where Neville Goddard speak about you can choose to live from the objective world or from the subjective world. You can choose to live in the physical realm, or you can choose to live from the spiritual realm. Now, you can believe that you are a human trying to be spiritual, or you can believe that you're a spirit having a human experience. But the choice is yours. So without any further ado, I just want to get into the reading. I'll be reading this book, The Law and the Promise by Neville Goddard. And I'll be reading from page 24. And the chapter will be, let me make sure I find the chapter for you. Okay, the chapter, let me find the chapter. Will be chapter 2, okay? Dwell therein. Okay, so I'll be reading from chapter 2 and I'll be reading page 24. It says here, one must adopt either the way of imagination or the way of sense. No compromise and neutrality is possible. So as I would have said, there's no in between. You either choose to live from the realm of the animals, or you choose to be above the animals because you have mind and speech. So you can either choose to live from within, or you can choose to live from without, okay? He who is not for me is against me. So it's showing you that this choice that you have to make between imagination or the way of the sense or the senses, it is written in Matthew chapter 12 and verses 30, and also in Luke chapter 11 and verses 23. That is say, when man finally identifies himself with his imagination rather than his senses, he has at long last discovered the core of reality. So there are many people who are living their life haphazardly and they never really understand or discover the phenomena of life because they have never really discovered the power of their imagination. But when one really identifies himself with his imagination to be the creative power within himself, and he learned to rise above the senses, he would definitely discover that imagination creates reality. So here Neville is saying he will discover the core of reality. Okay, so all reality starts from within. Okay, everything is cause and effect. So he says here, I have often been warned by self-styled realists that man will never realize his dream by simply imagining that it is already here. Yet, man can realize his dream by simply imagining that it is already here. So you will always find the doubters, those who will try to convince you otherwise. And that is why it doesn't base on belief. You must become a doer, not just a hearer. Put things to work in your life. Remember, you cannot attract unless you put action. So there must be action. You must be a witness. Okay, because true knowing is not intellectual. True knowing is experiential. You must experience it. Okay? He say that is exactly what this collection of stories proves. If only men were prepared to live imaginatively in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, advancing confidently in their controlled waking dream, then the power of imagining would answer their adventurous fancy, and the wish fulfilled would break in upon them and take them unaware. But you see, most people do not have self-discipline, and they do not put things to work in their lives to prove things for themselves. And that is why you have to learn to be a witness. And the only way you can know is through experience. Intellectual knowing is not real knowing. Real knowing is when you experience a thing for yourself. Okay? It says nothing is more continuously wonderful than the things that happen every day to the man with imagination sufficiently awake to realize their wonder. When you have a truly awakened imagination, when you are more aware, when you are more conscious of who you are, there's nothing that's more wonderful than that. There's nothing that's more joyful than that, because you know that you can create your life whichever way you want it to be, and you can live life on your own terms, because you would be more responsible of your thoughts and your actions. Okay? So, the more imaginative and creative you are, it's the more fulfilled you will feel, and more contented also you will feel. Okay? So he said, observe your imaginal activities. So one thing that he's encouraging you here to do is to observe your imaginal activities. You see, when you do that, you remember when you set a certain thing in motion. There are things that I would have experienced in my life and results that I would have benefited from, that I can go back to the very moment when I did set it in motion, because I learned to observe my imaginal activities. And the reason for that is because I am more aware. Okay? So that is why there's power in awareness. The more aware you become, it's the more wiser you will also become, because you will be now well led and guided by your intuition, because you will realize that that's your inside teacher leading you and guiding you, because you now realize that God and man is man's imagination. So he said, imagine better than the best you know, and create a better world for yourself. You will be able to create a better world for yourself. So instead of complaining about the world, why not live life on your own terms by changing yourself? You see, you're the cause of everything in your life. Everything is cause and effect. And each and every one of us, we are actually creating our own world, because our thoughts is what is creating our outer environment. We become what we think about most of the time. Okay? That's why he says here, imagine better than the best you know, and create a better world for yourself and others. You see, even the Bible tells you that you must be the lender and not the borrower. When you are the lender, you're creating a better world for others also. We say, even the Bible tells you must be above and not beneath. And let me ask you this, what would you rather to be, the employer or the employee? So if you know your self-worth, if you know your creativity that is within you, is a gift from the Creator, then you would use that power to better your life and the life of others, because you provide opportunities for others. Think about all of the inventors who believe in themselves and put the power of God within themselves to work, how they have served humanity. Think about how each and every one of us benefit from electricity, how we benefit from the telephone, how we benefit from the automobile, how we benefit from the airplane and so on. Just think on those things and realize that when you create that ideal world for yourself and others, how much you're doing the work of God. He said, live as though the wish had come, even though it is yet to come. Even Habakkuk chapter 2 tells you that. He said, when you write down the vision, you must make it plain. And he said, though it tarry, you must wait, because it is sure. So this is saying here also, when you have a wish, that you must live as though the wish is already come. And the Bible tells you that too, that you must believe that it is already a fact. And it will become a reality. It doesn't say that you must believe that sometime later on it's gonna come. It never tells you that. It tells you believe in the now. But see, most people get trapped in time and fail to realize if you say yesterday, you're saying it in the now. If you say tomorrow, you're saying it in the now. And that's why when people do not understand the power of now and realize that we are actually living in a holographic universe and that it is the same cycle that is taking place all the time, and that time is not really real as they really had us to believe, then you would realize that we are eternal beings. And when you realize that we are eternal beings, you would not become over anxious and get caught up in overthinking. You would trust the power that is within you, and you would not allow the law of gestation to trick you into thinking more about time. Okay? So that's why it says that whatever you desire when you pray, you must just believe. You already have it. Okay? It says here, so let me just read back. Live as though the wish had come, even though it is yet to come, and you will shorten the period of waiting. See? The world is imaginal, not mechanistic. Okay? It is imaginal, not mechanistic. So most people believe that the world is solid and real, but it's an imaginary world. Okay? Everything that we behold, it is within. You are the perceiver beholding the perception. You are the creator beholding the creation. Everything is within. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verses 11 give you that secret. Tell you, even eternity is downloaded within you. Everything is within you. The whole universe is within you. And you're beholding an odd picturing and you're thinking that to be real. But that which is within you is that is what is real. Your true essence is that which is real. Okay? He say, imaginal acts, not blind faith, determine the course of history. And it is right here to prove that all great men and women, all the great inventors, they were imaginative and creative men and women who believe in the creative power that is within themselves. There wasn't religious people who heard an audible voice in the sky. No, they heard a voice within themselves, and they trust that voice within themselves. They were loyal to the unseen, and they give us all the great things which I would have mentioned a while ago to make this world a better place. That is why right now we see what would have taken place between 2020 and 2022, how all the religious people claim that the Holy Spirit would have spoken to them to wear masks in their places of worship. Why? Because according to Proverbs 22, it says that the rich ruleth over the poor and the borrower is a slave to the lender. And because many of them were slaves to the lender, many of them had to take the job and lose their job. All of that is just to show you how many people have poverty of imagination. So the choice is yours. You can be a slave or you can be a master. If you're going to be a slave, you're going to live from the senses. But if you're going to be a master, you're going to trust your imagination. Because God in man is man's imagination. Okay, so each and every one of us have a choice. So he says, let me just read back this last one. Imaginal acts, not blind faith. Most religious people believe in blind faith. That's why they have no action and they have no results. Okay, based on what they preach. And that is why many of them would always say, well, maybe it wasn't the will of the Lord. It is always the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So my brother, my sister, I can go on and on and on and on. But I want to come to a close and I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you listen to me, what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you and it resonates with you, and you have a subscriber already, I definitely want to encourage you to subscribe, to like, to comment, and to share this video. Also, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram and you'd like to follow me on TikTok, you can follow me at Black Mad Guru. And you can also follow me at Black Mad Guru and Rumble.com. Also, if you feel strongly led to support this work, I just want to remind you that we have a PayPal and the link is always down below. And I have also a $20 course uploading on my page, and it's called The Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously, along with a bonus course on self-concept. If you feel strongly led to learn more about the inner sun and learn more about how you must have the right concept of yourself, I'll definitely encourage you to get that course. But before I leave you, if you would like to schedule an appointment with me for a one-on-one, I'll definitely encourage you to reach out to me by way of email. And as long as you're willing to invest in yourself, we can have a great time together and go deeper down the rabbit hole and expound more on these things. So the choice is yours. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I want to say peace, love you all, out.